Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Okay, so I just recently did a video showing all the movies that I picked up at an unexpected yard sale that I found. But before then, during the previous week, I'd actually picked up a whole load of movies at a thrift store. Quite a number of the movies that I'm about to show you were just $3 for $1, so that actually made me decide to get a few kind of direct-to-video type movies that I wouldn't normally buy. So anyway, here we go. I'll show you what I got. Okay, first up, this is a Bionic edition of this video. This is The $6 Million Man Season 2 and Season 3. So yeah, who remembers watching this when they were young? I certainly had the Steve Austin Action Man figure, which had a bionic eye, a magnified eye that you could look through, a bionic arm that would peel back its skin and reveal its electronic equipment, and then also a button in the back that you could press that would make it lift heavy weights. Yeah, great fun having that Steve Austin action doll when I was a kid. But yeah, always enjoyed this series as well, so quite a surprise to see this. Haven't come across this in a very long time. But yeah, who remembers The $6 Million Man with Lee Majors there as Steve Austin. Now, Season 3 here actually has the two-part premiere of The Bionic Woman as well, which starred Lindsay Wagner. So it'll be fun to see that. And then there's even an episode here, take a look at this, where we have the Bionic Man fighting Bigfoot. And next up, really pleased to find this. Okay, not a movie as such, but this is Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. Absolutely classic concert, this one. Always loved the album when I was younger, but I don't think I've ever actually seen the video concert. So here it is, great double disc edition this, that includes not only their classic concert, but also another one, a Sight and Sounds concert, and then also a CD as well of them live in Derby in 1975. Tragically, we lost Phil Lynott way too young back in the 80s, but yeah, his music will always be remembered, and this was such a classic album. Really pleased to have this. Next, really pleased to find this. This is the BBC TV adaptation that came out a few years ago of Tolstoy's War and Peace. This one starring Paul Dano, Lily James and James Norton. Quite a lavish production as I understand it. Certainly my sister has raved about this, so yeah, definitely look forward to seeing this. Next, onto some of the cheap ones, and here we've got Gale Force with Treat Williams, and who's that? Yeah, Michael Dudikoff. So yes, I always really liked Michael Dudikoff from being in the American Ninja movies, but he's been in tons of really throwaway, forgettable direct-to-video movies, and I'm sure this one's not going to be great, but for just a few cents, I'll give it a go. Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner in 3,000 Miles to Graceland. I then finally found a DVD copy of this which wasn't scratched. It's one I often come across, but it's always been scratched. But now I have a clean copy. This is Nicolas Cage in 8mm, directed by Joel Schumacher. Next, unfamiliar with this one, but with a cast that includes James Caan, Genevieve Bujold and Jennifer Tilly. That seems quite interesting. This is Jericho Mansions. Next, another direct-to-video movie. This one is The Debt with Lorenzo Lamas and Michael Paré. Grabbed this one because Michael Paré, for sure. I like him in Streets of Fire and Eddie and the Cruisers. I'm sure this is not going to be too great, but nonetheless, I will give it a go. Next, now I was able to find the complete TV series of Friday Night Lights, but this is the original movie that stars Billy Bob Thornton. Actually, I picked this one up because I was listening to an interview with Taylor Sheridan recently, and he was talking about 1883, and which stars Tim McGraw, and he was saying that Tim McGraw really came to his attention from being in Friday Night Lights. Next, we've got this movie, Captivity, starring Elisha Cuthbert. Now, in my last video, I was talking about the director Roland Joffe and saying how curious it was to me that his film career had really taken a nosedive after having directed such classics as The Mission and The Killing Fields. So this is another example of one of his movies that really didn't make much of an impact. But yeah, I will give this a go and see what I think of it. Next, we've got a thriller here with Jeff Bridges. Not very familiar with this one, and I don't have high hopes for it, but I'll give it a go. This is Scenes of the Crime. Next, I have seen this before, quite an interesting Western, takes quite an interesting approach. This is Liam Neeson, Pierce Brosnan and Angelica Houston as well in Seraphim Falls. Next, a classic from Bob Fosse. Now, I've always struggled with this film, Cabaret. I have it on Laserdisc and I've watched it a couple of times and I just never really taken to it, although I really love Bob Fosse from films such as The Pajama Game and other films that he's choreographed and all that jazz. Yeah, tons of stuff involving Bob Fosse that I do enjoy, but yeah, I've never particularly warmed to this one. But like I say, my Laserdisc copy isn't too great, so I will certainly give it another go on DVD. Next, now in my last video I showed a few Halloween movies that I'd picked up. Like I say, I'm not really into watching a lot of the Halloween follow-ups, but again, this one really dirt cheap, so I will give it a try. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Next, not one, but 7 Jackass movies, if you include the Bad Grandpa movies as well. So this excludes Jackass Forever, the most recent one, but I think it's got just about everything else here that Jackass have put out. So, yeah, these are quite good fun. Definitely, sometimes these make me laugh, and sometimes they make me nauseous. So, yeah, I can enjoy these in small doses, and every now and again when the mood strikes. So, yeah, quite good to have this set. Next, this is quite an interesting one. I have seen this before. Tommy Lee Jones acts in as well as directs The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, a kind of modern-day Western involving some Mexican history. So yeah, interesting film this. Also co-stars Barry Pepper. And here we've got Kevin Costner in a serial killer thriller. This one also stars William Hurt and Demi Moore, Mr. Brooks. Next, now I do have this on Laserdisc, but this is Heaven and Earth, directed by Oliver Stone, and the last of his Vietnam trilogy, which started with Platoon and then Born on the 4th of July. Here we have Tommy Lee Jones again. Next, got this documentary, Nicky's Family, which tells the story of Nicholas Winton. So his story has just recently been made into a film that stars Anthony Hopkins called One Life. But yeah, this is the documentary. Nicholas Winton was a stockbroker who kind of gave up his career to help Jewish children escaped the Nazis during the Second World War, and he famously appeared on the show That's Life, and unknowing to him, when he was in the audience, all of the children, or most of the children that he had saved, were there as well. So yeah, his story is recounted in this, Nicky's Family. Like I say, you can see a more recent movie adaptation that stars Anthony Hopkins, but this is the documentary. Next, now I do have this already on DVD, but I've got loads of stickers all over my copy. This one actually has just been recently brought out by Criterion as well, so you can get a nice lavish Blu-ray of it as well. But this is John Sayles' Lone Star, with an early performance for Matthew McConaughey and also starring Chris Christopherson. Next, a Blu-ray, and this is from Studio Ghibli, Whisper of the Heart, one I'm not familiar with. I have thought for a moment, looking at the back, that this was The Cat's Return, but no, it is a different movie, just I haven't seen this one. Next, perhaps funny timing, but yeah, I got Deadpool 2. Now, I'm not a big fan of this, I must be honest, but the reason I have this is that I actually saw some of this being filmed here in Vancouver. So yeah, just thought it'd be fun to have a copy. As for the new one, which is in cinemas at the moment, I'm in no rush to see it, but I may well do so in the next couple of weeks. And then next, from 2008, we've got this TV adaptation of The Diary of Anne Frank, a story that has been told quite often, but this one is meant to be a very faithful adaptation to the novel. This one stars Tamsin Greig and Ian Glenn, an actor who I really like. And next we've got The Grey Fox. Really pleased to have this, starring Richard Farnsworth. His final role was in the magnificent movie from David Lynch, The Straight Story. He died 1 year after that film came out, but this is an earlier film. Involves him as a bank robber who comes out of jail some 30 years after being imprisoned and then finds life quite different. So yeah, really looking forward to see this, The Grey Fox. Next and finally, the Ultimate Crime Spree Collection. 36 crime movies we have here. Now, definitely I would not recommend anyone spending too much money on a set like this because the movies are not restored, so some of the prints here are not too great. But just so you can get the opportunity to see some of these films, if you can't see them elsewhere, then yeah, not too bad to have. So what we have here is Hollywood Hoodlums, and this one includes Beat the Devil, The Chase, Quicksand, The Big Combo, Kansas City Confidential, and Trapped. Next we've got Murder and Mayhem, and this set includes two with Frank Sinatra, Suddenly and The Man with the Golden Arm, Fear in the Night with DeForest Kelley, Detour, which you can get via Criterion Collection, Impact with Brian Donlevy, and The Amazing Mr. X. Next, Midnight Mysteries, and this includes a couple with Edward G. Robinson. We've got Scarlet Street and The Red House, as well as The Scar, The Stranger, again with Edward G. Robinson, Woman on the Run, and Inner Sanctum. And next we've got the Crime Busters collection, Cagney there, so this one includes Blood on the Sun, He Walked by Night, Port of New York with Yul Brynner, DOA, the original with Edmund O'Brien, The Hitchhiker, directed by Ida Lupino, and Seaman. Next, Hollywood Tough Guys, that's John Garfield there, and this set includes They Made Me a Criminal with John Garfield, Borderline with Fred MacMurray, Shock with Vincent Price, The Man Who Cheated Himself, The Second Woman, and The Great Flammarion. And then finally, let's not forget the women. We've got some Dangerous Dames. And this set includes Too Late for Tears with Elizabeth Scott, Lady of Burlesque with Barbara Stanwyck, Blonde Ice with Leslie Brooks, The Strange Love of Martha Ivers with Kirk Douglas, A Life at Stake with Angela Lansbury, and also Angela Lansbury again in Please Murder Me. Alrighty, there we go. That's the end of this Bionic edition. So let me know your thoughts on any of those movies. Have you seen them? What are your thoughts on any of them? Yeah, please do join me again for some more videos. Next couple of videos probably won't be haul videos, but I do have some things to talk about. So yeah, please like, subscribe if you're enjoying any of this content. I do have playlists on my channel, so you can go to my channel, look at the playlists. Some of those playlists include all my haul videos, some of my tribute videos to actors and directors, and then other review compilation videos, etc. So it's all there on my channel. Hopefully I will see you again. Thanks very much for joining me on this one. All the best to you. Bye bye.